All right, folks, we are live. Welcome back to the Joe Ellis Effect. It's been a while. I actually recorded a episode that never got released because so much is happening so fast. I can't even keep up. So I cut a couple clips and had posted them over the last maybe like month or so. But I figured you all deserve a full episode. So let's get into it. First of all, sponsors. Diet Dr. Pepper keeps a girl thin. First of all, I quit my day job. I'm a full-time clown. Yay! So that's what I'll be doing is I am producing a late night comedy talk show and doing stand-up and writing a memoir and taking on any kind of acting work I can find and anything else under the sun. I sold my house in Virginia and moved here in March and going all in. So I'm just gonna live off the proceeds of my house and do that. I got to open over the past month. There's been a bunch of updates. I got to open for Sam Tripoli in Fort Worth, and that was a blast. That was one of the clips from my last podcast that I never released that I actually did post. So thank you, Sam. You're the best. You have earned a. I made these for him. I'll put it up on there, but T-Slur Pass. 4. In recognition of your generosity, service, and overall good vibes to a trans person. So thank you. Thank you, Sam. You can use the T slur anytime you want. Mileage may vary. I'm cool with it, but if you get punched by another trans lady or trans man or a white liberal who is very interested in defending others for internet injustices, that's on you. No warranties given for that one. What else? Oh, this weekend, I'm going to Tyler, Texas to feature for my brother from Down Under, Jason Ellis. It's going to be so much fun. I'm a big fan of his and his skateboarding and his Sirius XM and podcasting and just even his knives. Like, he just seems like a really fun, interesting guy and over the years. And so it's really cool that I get to actually catch up with him. And while I am a skateboarder myself, I'm nowhere close to what he's done. I mean, he broke some records, I think, in his day. Probably a few bones too. But anyway, it's going to be really fun. I'm going to do 20 minutes for him Saturday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So it'll be a good time. So come out if you can to Tyler, Texas to Rose City Comedy. It's going to be June 5th and 6th, I think. 5th and 6th. That what the weekend is? Yes, 5th and 6th. So I'll be out there all weekend. It'll be fun. Let's see what else. I got a list here. I want to talk about my late night comedy talk show, Friendly Fire. So I put together this show because I noticed late night is slowly dying and or quickly dying. Poor Colbert just went off the air, and I noticed there's not a whole lot of options for something like that. And I also noticed that over the years they stopped featuring less and less stand-ups, and that used to be the way that stand-ups kind of got their blessing and went on to do big things. Is they prepared for a late night spot, and if they got it, whether it was Carson or whoever, right? Like they became pretty big comedian usually after getting invited to the couch or whatever. It's so I noticed that's gone away. And even the late night shows that did exist, it was less and less stand-ups being put on there. So I made a show where right now I'm only booking stand-ups. That might change as I branch out to maybe authors and actors and things like that. But right now I really want to focus on the core, which is going to be bringing stand-ups on that maybe we don't know a lot about, but are like on the cusp or emerging or breaking out. Of course, I would love to have the bigger stars on, but I think it's also important to showcase kind of maybe not the open mic or new circle, like people like me, but people just beyond that, like your door guy circle, door girl circles, your feature acts, those that are opening for some of the big folks. We don't really know a lot about them, and they're doing great stuff. They're very funny, and so I want to showcase them. So each comedian gets 5 minutes, and then they interview with me, and then they join each other on a panel on the couch, And we take anonymous questions from the audience that's submitted via QR code, which is really fun. It went really well. My first show was April 30th. It's out on YouTube, so you can watch it. But it went really well, and it was really fun. And I have some ideas from some segment ideas I want to do, and I'm bringing in some writers because I wrote the whole thing, and that was a lot of work. But I did like a monologue, traditional monologue about headlines and stuff, and then I did it like a fake ad read, which was really fun. But anyway, I wanted to bring this up. I've got some stuff to show. Let's see. Not that. So I thought this was interesting. So Ben Glebe, I think is how you say his name, is also trying to do the same thing, or is doing the same thing as me. He spotted that there was nothing, like late night was going away, and so he is doing an evolution of late night, the first ever YouTube native late night talk show. Now, I don't know exactly what he means by YouTube native, considering most of the late night show clips do better on YouTube than they do on TV already. Or if he means there is no studio audience and that'll be a virtual audience. I'm not sure exactly. He's claiming he's the first one, and I feel like I'm the first one. I feel like I beat him to the punch by at least a month or two. So sorry, Ben, you may not be the first one. I haven't seen it yet. I think it comes out this week. Might be fun to watch. Check it out. My show is on my YouTube at Joe Ellis Really. And you can watch it here. The playlist is Friendly Fire with Joe Ellis. And I cut up all my guests and segments and everything, so you can watch all of their interviews separately, or you can watch the whole show at the bottom. And it's doing pretty well already for a brand new show. Some clips are doing really well, which is fun. Also, good news about Friendly Fire is that it's now a monthly show at the Creek in the Cave. So I will be live to tape every month and posting those episodes. And as it grows, the goal is to hopefully be more frequent, and maybe weekly, maybe daily, Monday through Friday. Who knows, right? The sky is the limit, and I'm just dreaming very big for this. But I'm excited. A monthly show hopefully will become like an in-house staple for the Creek in the Cave. Is like an anchor show that every month is something that draws a lot of folks in, and a lot of interests and guests, and I love it. I love being around comedy and bringing comedy together. So this is really exciting, and it was my first time ever producing a show, and it went pretty well. Nothing fell off the rails too much. We had a lot of fun. And so I think that goes to show what I'm really trying to build. And it's just going to get better. It's only going to get better. I'm going to get better as hosting and interviewing. My monologues are going to get better, hopefully. I've got a teleprompter for the next episode, which will be great because I was reading from cards, which was really tough to do. It was also tough to memorize the entire monologue, plus build and run the show, plus everything else, all for the very first episode. So I'm excited. Next up, I made a makeup ad for Christina P Cosmetics. So if you don't know, Christina P, co-founder of YMH Studios and the Your Mom's House podcast, also wife of the very funny Tom Segura. She has a makeup line with some really lovely lipsticks and I think a few other things, but I ordered a red lipstick, and I heard one of her episodes. She was talking about like aliens and orbs and UFO discoveries, and it was the episode with Duncan Trussell recently. And I don't know, I just had this spark of inspiration. That's the word I'm looking for. Inspiration to make a fake ad to try to make it look like one part UFO disclosure video, one part like a Dior lipstick ad. Anyway, I want to play it for you all. I thought it was really funny. Let's see. During my time as a Black Hawk pilot, I saw things. Trust the orbs. Disclosure. Atomic red. For when your lips need to disclose the truth. Now trans approved. I thought that was really fun. And what's really cool is she collaborated. Not only her cosmetic account, but also her main account, which is like 1 million followers, almost 1 million followers, collaborated with me. It's gone pretty far, and I've gotten a lot of really good feedback. Not only did I link the product in the video, which I checked the metrics, it's gotten like a dozen or so clicks. So maybe she sold some lipstick off of me. But also it was just a lot of feedback about doing more of stuff like that. And so I reached out to her and said, hey, like that was really fun. Thanks for collaborating. I would love to try other shades and do other silly videos or something, and would love to discuss. So I don't know. We're gonna hopefully chat about it soon when she's not so busy, which is probably never. But hopefully we can find some time to sync up, and that'll be really fun because uh, I don't know. Like I think I could see myself doing like these types of like fun sponsorship type things, and trans approved is like for makeup is kind of like a big deal. I think we could really brand that and be I've got a lot of trans followers because I'm trans, and a lot of trans girls who love makeup. And I really love her lipstick, and it's beautiful, and it's made in Italy, which is really cool. If it makes some trans girls feel pretty, or maybe reduces some dysphoria, or I don't know, maybe it just helps them feel like they pass a little bit better if that's their goal. If it's not, whatever it is, right? Maybe it just makes them feel good about themselves. And so I don't know, I thought that would be fun because I felt good about wearing the lipstick, and it made me feel really feminine and cute. And so, I mean, heck, I shot a whole video of me wearing it and playing with it. And I've never done that with anyone else's lipstick. So it's got to be good for trans ladies, you know? See what else? Oh, Tony Hinchcliffe is releasing a new special. That's exciting. He actually announced it on the episode that I was on Kill Tony, which is pretty cool. I figured I'd play this clip because it's starting to go around again, because I think he's probably going to get some blowback, just like he always does. The roast of Kevin Hart, the video started going around again. Him asking me to remember next time he gets canceled, that basically he's done more for trans comics than anyone else, which is my opinion. Anyway, so I wanted to play this clip because I think it's appropriate.
You've given trans comics more opportunities than I think anyone else.
That's true. That is true. Be sure to remember that next time I get canceled. I have a special coming out soon, and they're going to be coming after me. So I'm going to need you on the front line of
I'll
defense.
Stand in
there.
front and protect you.
They are going to come after me. You heard it right here. It's happening soon. Few months away.
Few months away. Well, it's been a few months, so I think June 9th is his special. So that's that's next week on Netflix. So check it out, and we'll see if there's any fallback, and we'll see if this clip doesn't start circulating again when everyone starts to try to cancel him over that. That's fun. I want to talk about some trans news. There's been a couple little things come up that I feel like I should bring up. A man was arrested after reportedly de-pantsing transgender guests at Ohio theme park. An 18-year-old man was arrested and charged with public indecency and resisting arrest after he was arrested pulling down the skirt and shorts of a transgender person at Cedar Point, according to police on Tuesday night. Is this what we want in society, folks? We want people just running around inspecting people's genitals, just pulling people's pants down and seeing what's there? Like, come on. Is this really how we want to be? I'd be curious to hear what his reason is, but I think everyone could agree that's rational. Whatever reason you have or whatever feelings you have with trans people, that pulling their pants down in public and exposing them to everyone, including young kids, is kind of not going to help your cause. I don't know. We get a lot of grief. Trans people do. And while you're walking down the street, when you're trying to just go about your day, you get, not only do you get the attention of what women get, but also if you're clockable, or if someone knows you're trans, like me, like I'm so publicly outed that pretty much everyone knows, and I'm tall and suspect, and there's a lot of people that are excited about us sexually, and come after us and are inappropriate. It's like you could take all the negative behaviors of not great men or bad men against women and then crank it up a couple extra notches for trans women in some circumstances because that's like a whole other level of derangement with some of these people about trans women, whether it's because they're excited by them or because they just don't like them even more than they don't like women. It's unnerving. It's unnerving to think that this is. I hope this isn't trends to come, but I know there's been stories about trans women being followed and beaten up because men didn't like them being trans. There's also been stories about trans women not wanting to date or hook up with certain men and then they react badly and beat them up, which happens to women too. I sometimes wonder if men think they have extra license to hurt us because we're trans and they think, oh, well, you were born a guy, so I can beat you up if I want and no one's going to care. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I know that I've pulled my gun recently on somebody that approached me. I didn't point it at him, but I believe he was homeless and a little out of his mind. But he came, snuck up on me while I was walking at night to the comedy club. And out of nowhere, I didn't pass him. He came across the street without me knowing. And so I didn't even realize he was back there. And he was within arm's reach and said, "Hey, you're really beautiful." And then like started smiling like all like deranged like and uh, pursuing me. And I started to kind of run away and I pulled my gun out of my purse and just pointed it at the ground, but just showed it to him basically like, you know, like I've got it here as I kept moving away and towards the club entrance. That made him stop pursuing me, but then he started laughing maniacally and mumbling something and he didn't start leaving right away. He just stood there while I kept leaving, so it really freaked me out. And I don't know if he was gonna be harmful or not. I wasn't gonna take that chance, but I mean, it's our reality every day. If we're not being harassed because we're trans, or being harassed just because we look and pass as women. So uh, if we're doing our best, we sometimes end up losing, and if we're not doing our best, we're gonna lose. So I try to be positive, though. You know, I have a lot of good experiences too, and I try not to let articles like this get me down. But it's tough. You know, it's tough when you see this stuff, and then of course you see what people say about these things happening. Like, oh, they were probably in the women's restroom, they shouldn't have been, or you know, all this crazy talk that doesn't justify this behavior, regardless. Okay, even if I'm in the women's restroom, I don't think you should pull my pants down to prove a point. Uh, you know, I think if you're worried about us going in there to expose ourselves, I think exposing us in front of people is kind of hypocritical. But that's just me. What else is going on in trans news? Oh, I thought this was funny. My good friend, Joe DeRosa, who was on the panel, was a guest on Kill Tony on my very first appearance. And he's super kind and has been nice to me. I love his new podcast, so shout out to his new podcast if you haven't watched it yet. It's called Vile and Horrendous. That's right, that's his nickname. So it's with YMH Studios, friend of the show. It's really fun. He sits down and does his normal like Joe DeRosa rantings, which is fun, and I enjoy it. But then again, I kind of like his humor and his attitude, so that's just me. He said something on here that was a little sus, and so I just wanted to play it for you real quick.
I always felt I was a lesbian. I always felt that I really was just a man who was actually a woman who loves women. I feel like a lesbian. How does this shirt fit, by the way?
Joey, honey, a man who's a woman who's attracted to a woman is a lesbian. That's what I said for years as a teenager and growing up. Like, oh, I'm just a male lesbian. That's why I'm kind of all these weird isms. Obviously, if you're not trans, you're not trans. If you don't have gender dysphoria, you don't have gender dysphoria. I just think it's a funny statement because it's a statement I used to say all the time. And look at me now. So, Joe, if you want to come out, let me know. I've got some lipstick for you. Christina P, Atomic Red. It'll look good on you. Actually, your skin tone, because you're kind of Egyptian. Maybe the Berlin. There's a Berlin shade that's real pretty. That might work better. Or just her classic red. Maybe I should call this like segment like sus trans. Um anyway, shout out to the vile and horrendous himself, YMH Studios, friend of the show. I thought that was funny. If you want to come out as trans, Joe, just let me know. I'll gladly help you through it. Until then, you might want to think about what you're saying when you say, I'm a man who's a woman who's attracted to women. Because, yeah, come on, girl. That's called trans. Anyway. Other things that are suspect trans, or at least a little queer. Pete Hegseth. Did you all see this video? Oh, sorry, let me point that way. Did you all see this video? Now, I know this is karaoke or however you say this movement. I get it. Like, I don't believe it's actually in Army PRT manuals. There's crossovers, but it's not quite this movement. Now, I know this movement because I did CrossFit and we would warm up sometimes, field warm ups with this. But there's just something funny about a guy in a This Is War shirt who is like, no more dudes in dresses, which is literally what he said about me, trans people in the military, kicked us out, talks about woke this, woke that. And then, dude, you need a better public affairs officer. Spend less time in your makeup studio and a little bit more time thinking about what the optics of that looks like. Because looks kind of fruity. Is there audio here? There we go. Yeah. See? Petey. Petey, sweetie. Come out if you want to come out. It's okay. You can change the rule and make it totally fine. You can serve like that. I'll serve. It'll be a good time. If it's a meritocracy, don't you want the best dancers on your ships? Speaking of Pete Hegseth and the trans military ban, look at that. Pentagon policy illegally banned transgender troops from military service. The appeals court in DC has ruled. I guess I'm going back to the service because I haven't been officially kicked out. I'm just stuck in limbo because of all these court cases. It only applies to the 6 plaintiffs. It will probably become a class action lawsuit soon, which will bring everyone in. They say currently serving trans people, it's unconstitutional to kick them out. They can bar enlistment for new people who are trans, but for existing folks, they said it likely was illegal. Which, shocker, it's what we've been saying since January 2025. Meanwhile, I've been stuck in limbo for over a year, waiting, assuming I'm getting kicked out, but yet paperwork hasn't processed yet. Then these court cases go back and forth, and maybe I'll go back. I don't know. I mean, how long can people sit in limbo before they move on with their lives? Like, I want to serve, but it's been over a year, and I got stuff to do. Of course, if they asked me, I would go back. I'd go back in a heartbeat. I might transfer to Texas Guard, because Virginia Guard is kind of far, and I'm spending all my time in Austin now. But I would definitely keep serving. I'm a pilot. I want to fly. Like, put me in, coach. What else do we got going on here? Let's talk about me. I've got a website. If you didn't know, check it out, joeellisreally.com. You can find show dates. Hey, look, there's my Tyler, Texas date. June 19th, I'm going to be at the Green Room in Austin doing a guest spot for Tokes and Jokes. And I've got a shop. You can buy stuff. How cool is this? You can get my Black Hawk 2 sticker. For an extra $1, I'll send you another one and I'll sign it. And this I'm really excited about. They haven't showed up yet, but they have been ordered and they're coming. It is a remove before flight keychain, like a jet tag, which me in aviation, I love these things. I have so many of them. But on the other side, it says remove before open mic, which I don't know. I love it because it like signifies both of my careers now, my two lives. And I don't know, I thought it'd be fun because maybe people in the aviation community will want one, but then also people in the comedy world would want one because it's like removed before open mic. Like, it's just kind of funny. Like what we're doing is dangerous. Or what you should be doing, you should be preparing before you do it. Think up some jokes maybe before you hit the stage. Just like you want to think about where you're going to fly to, how much fuel you need before you hop in that aircraft and take off. Can't pull over on a cloud. So anyway, you can hop in here and order this stuff. I'm not making really anything off of any of this stuff, but I just thought it'd be fun. I also have some newsletters. You can sign up for Joe Ellis HQ. That would be great. You get everything from me that I'm doing, all my updates. Then I have some segmented lists here. I've got letters from Joe, which is more on decision making and more in line with my memoir project. So these are thoughts more so like change and bigger, deeper things, not, hey, I'm going to be doing this show on this day type stuff. It's like letters about life, like journaling. And then also you can get Couch to KT, which is my free guide on how to avoid preventable mistakes on Kill Tony. It is really cool because it's about 30 pages and it's all of my preparation that I did for Kill Tony and also stuff I've learned since. I did have 2 appearances now. Of course, this was written right before my second appearance, but it also covers, because I've signed up at the arena shows, so I have insight about what that's like, and then also the club shows at the mothership, and just things to think about before you go up there, because we see so many people go up there and not be prepared. Especially not be prepared for the interview, which is like the most important part really of the show. You need jokes, but even if you have no jokes, if you can crush the interview, like you can come away with a pretty cool story. And so it talks about that, and it's like stoic virtues and kind of how I go about preparing. It's kind of like if I was preparing for military operation, which is how I prepared for Kill Tony, because I called it Operation Conservative PSYOP, and it was my plan to come on, get on Kill Tony, tell my story about transmilitary, immediately get invited to Joe Rogan's podcast, and then of course, President Trump would have to reverse the ban because he would hear my story and just be like, oh my goodness, I never thought about it like that. These trans people should be able to serve. And happily ever after, I would have gone back to my unit last year and well, that didn't happen exactly like that. Now, I did get on the show. I did tell the story, but the ban, we just talked about, is still going on back and forth. Trump has not changed his mind. I did not get on Rogan's podcast yet, but hopefully one day I'll be able to get on there and tell my story about the transmilitary ban. And until then, I've just gone all in on comedy full time. It's a lot of fun. I'm having so much fun here. I think that's about it. Anyway, I hope you like this new format for Joe Ellis Effect podcast. Trying to do something different, a little bit more prepared, talk about a little bit more things, give updates, react to things, and just keep you on the loop. I will be doing these more regularly because I am jobless. Day job anyway. And so I'm going to be producing more content, as well as working harder on my show, Friendly Fire, and everything else that I'm doing out here. And I'm living the dream. So thank you all so much for supporting me on this journey. If you're interested in catching my dates, check out joeellisreally.com and come see me do some stand-up. If you want some merch, whether it's a sticker or a keychain, order it off my website. If you're going to be in person, just hit me up. I give out those stickers to anyone who recognizes me. If you say, hey, aren't you so-and-so from something or other? I'll give you a sticker. It's just fun. I like to have something to give people when they're kind enough to, you know, tell me they recognize me from something I did, and usually that's followed by like, oh, you did really well, or I really enjoyed your story, and so I just like having stickers. Now, if you work really hard to earn my trust and love, like Sam Tripoli did, you'll get a T-Slur pass. Now, Jason Ellis is probably gonna get one this weekend because he's letting me feature for him. He's being really cool and letting me do that. Sam Tripoli got one because not only did he let me open for him, but he gave me a lot of great feedback, a lot of good advice. He's been down here since, and we've talked, and he's kind of like giving me kind of like coaching, mentoring type sessions, which has been so nice. So yeah, so I won't hand those out easily, but if you do, I'll put your name on it. If you do whatever it takes, I'll put your name on it and I'll sign it. And it's a sticker, so you can peel it off and stick it on something, and everyone will know that you have earned the right to say tranny. Thank you all. Bye.